July 14th, 2023 could mark a time for good fortunes. This is in astrology, the Bitcoin progressed moon trine Venus. All right, so normally that signifies good fortunes. I'm not going to say we're going to the moon, but this is overall positive energy. Now, it's very interesting. I looked in the history of the Bitcoin history books. I don't know anyone else who's done this. And I looked up the last time the Bitcoin progressed moon was trine Venus. And here it is right here, back in, it's actually January 10th, 2015. It's this blue line right here. This was 406 days approximately after the all-time high back on November 2013. Long time ago. I wasn't even in the game back then. I wish I was. And there's pretty much maximum fear in the markets. We were down here, and we hit not the all-time low, but very close to the all-time low. So that's very interesting. We actually got a massive dump. But let's look on the daily. Let's look more specifically. Okay, I'm going to have to bear with me here. Go on the daily so we can zoom in more. Go back to 2015. And let's straighten this out. Let's get it on the exact day here. All right, close enough. Let's see. Almost there. So January 10th. Oh, this is a little challenging. So January 10th. Let's really zoom in there. All right, so it was right before the big dump there. Well, that's interesting. So right after we got a dump, but then the markets corrected. There was one more major dump there. Capitulation, and then the market really started to recover. Look what happened within, how many months is that? Within about 9 months, eight months or so, we were in the bull run. But it's not to say it's going to play exactly the same this time around, because I already saw here that, it was 406 days after the all-time high. So remember 406 days after the all-time high back in 2013. Now we're going to fast forward, and we're going to go to today. And today we are approximately twice as far from the all-time high if we use the April 2021 all-time high. Now, this is controversial. The reason I'm doing that is because it's just my opinion. Me and one of my colleagues, oh geez, why are these charts so? Okay, let me zoom in here. There we go. So I'm trying to zoom in. All right, because we're going on the monthly here. The only reason I'm choosing this all-time high back in April 2021 versus the November all-time high, which was the actual all-time high, is because look at the RSI. The RSI on the monthly was peaking out on the April all-time high and was almost all the way to the bottom on the November all-time high. So historically, every all-time high in history, the RSI was way up here around 90, 95, 97%. If you look back, the last all-time high, we were up there. The RSI was over 90%. and all previous all-time highs. So that's just to explain why I'm doing it from the April all-time high. So we're potentially 821 days in, which is twice as far as we were from the all-time high last time. The Bitcoin progressed moon was trine Venus. So is it going to play out exactly like it did back in 2015? No, not necessarily. If I was investing back here, that would be a great buying opportunity for me. I'm going to say for me because this isn't financial advice. I'm not giving you any advice here. But I would buy that. I would buy that. All right. Because we were heading into the bull market. So very interesting. That is potentially bullish. Could we see a dump? Yeah, we could. But we have already gone potentially 821 days from the all-time high in April. I could also do it from the all-time high in November. We're approximately I'm trying to look at, let's see what that says. 607 days from the November all-time high. So we're much further than we were last time we saw this astrological transit to the BTC chart. If history repeats, then we could see a dump. Am I expecting that? Not necessarily, no. Could we be heading into a bull market? Yes, we could be. Perhaps this is a very positive astrological aspect. Perhaps that is what it is hinting. So I'm bullish. I'm bullish on this. And I'm also bullish on some other things. The DXY, the dollar index, basically the strength of the dollar compared to other currencies. Look at this. We're just hitting an all-time, or not an all-time, but a lower low for the first time in a long time. So this is very bearish, which historically is very positive for Bitcoin. The last time, let's see. The last time we saw major dumps and it was down here in the 90s, basically below 94, let's say. That's when we started heading into a major bull market. Or perhaps when it was down below 90 was when we started that major bull market. We saw Bitcoin new all-time high. So anyways, this is very bullish. Potentially, if we continue to go down below this blue line here, below 100, there is another support here. This second line here, there is some support, unfortunately, at 99.2, around there. So could we head out into this range here? Could be bullish. Could be the start of something more bullish. Now, the timing of this, we could be hanging out in here for God knows how long. For all I know, we could be doing that. But if we do head down below 99, this would be very bullish. Very, very bullish. Okay, so that's a lot. That's very positive. Now, this is interesting. I got some of this information from one of my colleagues and on investing.com. And CPI inflation has just gone down to 3%, which is historically not so bad. Basically historical norms in many ways, because we were at around that level, close to this level in 2018. And we were even above it in 2011. So we were above it in 2008 and in 2006. So pretty normal levels, nothing to stress about. And so we're back to normal levels with inflation after all that. After all these fears about us heading into a recession, perhaps could those narratives start to die once it looks like inflation is now quite under control. So unless we see a major spike up, if we just keep hanging around this area, around 3%, that could potentially be bullish, not financial advice. So very, very, very positive things we're seeing here, guys. Does that mean we're going to the moon this month? No, I'm not saying that. Does that mean the next year could be quite bullish overall? Yeah. But probably heading into next year, and maybe could take a couple years for us to get an all-time high, honestly. Now, this takes a lot of patience. This is a waiting game in many ways. If your strategy is to dollar cost average, this is good news. More opportunities to buy. Not financial advice. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll have more astrology updates on the Bitcoin astrology. So definitely subscribe, smash that like button, or gently tap it, whatever your preference is. And look out for more videos from me. I'll talk to you soon. Much love.